AITA for being upset and want to file for a divorce when my wife went behind my back and become a surrogate for her best friend and her husband? Hello. First of all, I apologize if I made any mistake because I never use Reddit. But I just need outside opinions because a lot of people around me seem to tell me I'm overreacting. My niece suggested to post in this subreddit to open my eyes, so here I am. First of all, I, 31M, has been married to my wife, 31F, for 4 years. We met during high school, dated and got married. I'm an introvert but not antisocial. I can socialize just fine, but for some reason, I've never liked her best friend since high school, 31F. She always gives me the bad vibes. She's an extrovert. But to me, she's just someone who often oversteps people's boundaries under the guise of being friendly. Since we started dating, he has always meddled in our relationship, saying that my wife was too good for a nerd like me, that my only redeeming quality was my face. I did tell he to stop, and she did. Now, he is more subtle and passive-aggressive. A year ago, he and her husband of 2 years visited her in our house. It was weekend, so I was at home, helping my wife taking care of our 3-year-old son who was still 2-year-old at that time. After I put my son to sleep in his crib upstairs, I went down and overheard their conversation about starting medical procedures for surrogacy. I was appalled and asked them what were they talking about. The three were shocked to see me downstairs. I told them I absolutely disagree, especially since my wife's first pregnancy was very difficult. I was visibly upset and asked why they made this decision without consulting me. He made her own choice to have her tubes tied at 26, so why can't she consider someone younger or look into adoption? Why does it have to be my wife? Argument started and I told them to leave. Later that day, my wife showed a text from me that she and her husband apologized and won't proceed with the plan. Last Monday, my wife felt unwell. I took her to the hospital despite her protest, where we found out she was pregnant. I was both happy and worried because of her first pregnancy. She was unusually quiet on the drive home. She then admitted she had secretly undergone IVF procedures since last year. I asked her how she was sure it was not mine. She told me after every session, she was told to not do the deed for 2 weeks. I remembered that sometimes, she would refuse because of stress from work, and I always respected that. I felt heartbroken, betrayed, and disrespected. It felt like it was the last straw. She always sided with E and tried to downplay E's disrespectful behavior towards me. So, I packed a bag with essentials and left to my parents' house. Before I leave, I told her I will file for a divorce and told my 3-year-old son that I would be going for a business trip. I haven't picked up her calls or responded her texts ever since, and I miss my son but couldn't talk or see him without seeing her. Seeing her would hurt me more. E and her husband never reached out to me, showing how little respect they have towards me. My parents, elder sister and my brother-in-law are on my side, but my friends, the rest of her family and some of my relatives told me to reconsider and think about our 3-year-old son. I admit I've been crying and drinking all week. The ones who on her side told me that I shouldn't be controlling and that her body, her choice. It was not my intention, but I was just hurt, sad and disappointed. I truly love her. Why am I upset? Why am I disappointed? I'm not the one that likes to be vulnerable and make a post about it, but here I am. So AITA? Tell me.